Hello, guys, and welcome back to another Uso King live stream. I am your host, Uso King, aka Rico Suave, and I am here with another live stream for you guys. Um, Trying to be upbeat and get this thing started. So, I missed a couple of streams that I had scheduled for this past weekend here. Um, Sadly, dealing with death in the family, so uh, couldn't really stream like I wanted to over the weekend. So I do want to apologize to you guys who was looking forward to the weekend streams. Um, I missed out on the arena stream and I missed out on my chatting about Uso King and getting to know Uso King, Rico Suave, as a person. Um, so basically, this live stream this morning is going to be a little mixture of both. Um, we'll do some arena, we'll talk about myself, answer some questions that you guys have sent in to me. Um, pick up where we left off in the last Get to Know Me stream. And basically, we'll see if we can get an Among Us group started. So, um, basically, that's what we're going to be doing today. I will say that I have not slept in. I haven't slept in 2 days. So I'm going to try to stay awake for this live stream, um, and be upbeat. Basically, I'm both wanting to, get a little normalcy going and try not to be as depressed. And what do I normally do? I play games, is what I normally do. So basically, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be playing some Magic Arena. Um, let's see here. What do we have going on? We'll do some of the quick drafts. So let's go ahead and get started. Is everybody doing all right? Everybody doing okay? I'm gonna grab this card. So it looks like we're gonna go ahead and get started in some red. We'll grab this squash. That's a burn card. We'll grab the fearless puff here. We'll grab the pick. Got a lot of creatures. Only have one burn spell here. Don't have much removal. So we're going to go with the Rise of the Marn. Grab the Dwarven Hammer. Is everybody doing alright? Everybody being safe and healthy out there? That's removal, so we're going to grab that removal card. Open the Omen Path. That's a good card. We're going to grab that. Let's go with this here. Left hand, right. I don't have much. I have a lot of creatures, but I don't have any creature removal. Left hand, right, left hand, right. There's another smashing success. Run a mark. That's a good card. Dwarven reinforcements. We'll grab the Dwarven reinforcements. Here I am going to. This is very difficult. I have a lot of creatures. Grab that card because you can get creature cards back from the graveyard. Crush the Weak is a burn spell, but it hits each creature. So I tend to want to stay away from cards that does mutual damage. Grab this guy. I have way more. I need some snow lands for this guy here. I can go with the way down. Let's go with the way down. I could. There's a Seize the Spoils. There's a Draw Engine. There's another Open the Omen Pass. Here we're going to go with the Run Amok because we want to grab. Okay. I can do anything. And if you guys are just wondering what I'm jamming to, I do have my Spotify playlist at the bottom of my Twitch channel, so you can go down there and listen to the same kind of music I'm listening to. I've updated my playlist. Okay. So, cards to get rid of. I'm fine with that. Let's get rid of one of those Fearless Pups. Domestic Gifts. Raise the Draugr. We want to keep that card because it gets creature cards back into our hand from the graveyard. Wither Crown is it's an okay card. It's somewhat control-ish. Because it makes a creature weak unless that creature has like counters on it, +1/+1 counters on it. It makes the creature basically 0 power. Um, and so unless the creature is like it has a really good triggered or activated ability to keep on the field, they're gonna either sacrifice it or they end up losing a life each turn that they keep it. So that's why I like Wither Crown. I don't like this card, so we're going to get rid of him. Run Amok. It gets the creature's trample as well as pumping it up. So that's why I'm actually decent for that card right there. Vault Robber. He makes treasure tokens by exiling a creature card from your graveyard. Because of Raise the Draugr and Draugr Recruiter, I want to try to get my cards back. So this is not really a good card I want to keep. Dual Strike as well. Because it's CMC 4 or less, you copy the next instance of sorcery spell that you cast. So going from instance and sorcery spells, we have Smashing Success, Dwarven Reinforcements, Shackles to Treachery, Seize the Spoils, Open the Omen Pass. And then we have Rise of the Dread Marn. Is that an instant? Yeah. So Dual Strike is actually an okay card. Here, because I'm just going black, red. I'm going to take that card out for now. This is a really good zombie card. And I have two. I have two Snowlands. Um, we'll see about keeping him in. Rise of the Dreadmorn. We're going to keep this card in just because it's a really good card. It creates X 2/2 Black Zombie Berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn, and you can foretell it for just one black. Um, so basically, you want to cast that spell for during a board wipe, like right after a board wipe. Um, and then especially since we have dual strike, if we can dual strike the Rise of the Dread Marn, and both of their foretells is just one mana cost, one red and then one black. Um, like you can, if you get it off, it you basically have an army. Especially if you use that card during the opponent's turn. That's one of the optimal scenarios that you want to happen. And as I said before, not many things happen that you want it to happen the way that you want it to happen, but yada 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 yada. Sorry, I copyright. It's just jamming, but you want to build your deck around like optimal place play situations. And that's one of the optimal play situations that I really want to see happen. Um, got the Dwarven Hammer. Ah. Um, Breakneck Berserker. He has haste, so it's a 3/2. Besides this one and that one, they're both berserkers, but his second ability, or his ability to give him menace, is a lot better than giving him having haste. So I'm going to take that card out. Open the Omen Pass. I want to stay with just one. I don't want to go with two. Maybe. Seize the Spoils. That's a draw effect. You discard a card, but you get to draw two cards. I I always run into the problem of not drawing the cards that I need. So I want to definitely keep Seed Spoils. Shackles of Treachery. Another steal a creature card until end of turn. And if the creature has an equipment on it and it deals damage, I can destroy the equipment attached to it. And like I really don't like a lot of steel creature cards and limited. Well, when I say limited, not in drafting. Um, just because it doesn't really help. Like there aren't that many cards that actually you want to steal early on. Um, and then I'm silently going through here the cards I want to get rid of, and then the cards I want to keep. I do seem to have a lot of berserkers, so this giant wizard here will deal a lot of damage to any target. And then if I can get him back with this card or raise the Draugr, that's wonderful. Let's skip over here. This card here I'm gonna definitely keep. There's a couple of cards like the Open Omen Path, Shackles of Treachery, we're still a little iffy about. Um, Doomscar. When he enters the battlefield, creatures you control gets +1/+0 and haste on the turn. And you can foretell it for like basically one less than what it costs. Um, if you can build up um, enough of a board state, that's a really good card to have. Um, two of this giant here is not, because he's a 7 drop. It's not something I want to keep. So we'll drop down to 1 for right now. Alright, so this zombie berserker here, when he ETBs, and like I said before, ETBs just means enters the battlefield. When he ETBs, two target creatures get +1/+0 and indestructible. That is a really good card. We're not getting ready to squash because we do have a good amount of giants. And that's basically our only burn spell. We're going to drop down to 1, open the Omen Pass. This is a... That's a destroy card, basically. Kadur, Doom Scourge. I'm going to drop down to 1 Fearless Pop. Fearless Pop and Dust Wielder. I'm fine as those two cards being my 2. I'm really not... I'm not feeling a Shackles of Treachery, so we're going to put that back for now. Arnie, Broken Bow. It's a really good card for when I have the stronger creatures out on the field. Demonic Gifts. What are we looking at now? We're looking at 12 creatures, 13 non-creatures. So the non-creatures, let's see about getting rid of. Smashing Success. It's an instant destroy land card. Land/artifact card. And if you destroy an artifact, you get a treasure token. I do like that aspect. But I'm confident with the land that we have. And every time I said I'm confident about the land, like I always either get mana flooded or mana screwed. Like the land is never balanced in these games. Do I get salty? Yes, I do get salty sometimes. Sometimes I get salty all the time. Oh, hold on tight, don't forget. All right, Dwarven Hammer. Gets them +3/+0 and trample. One day at a time. Do 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 do. We'll do it like that. We'll go with 16 lands for now. Let's see. Let's see if we can actually. Let's see if we can make some good strides. Uh, Basically, this stream is also a test stream because I am I am also multi-streaming. I'm streaming on my Twitch page and on my YouTube page. So, um, ooh. I go first. I'm Seize the Spoils here, so I can get a different card. I can get more cards. We're going to keep this. I really should have Mulligan because I'm on the play. And it's actually would have been smarter for me to actually Mulligan. But we're going to just let's just be bad Magic players that we are. When I say we, I just mean me. Yeah, I should have. Do I have any double black cards? I don't think I have any double black cards. So, if the next card I get, oh, he has a Clarion Spirit. He, she, they have a Clarion Spirit. Alright, so I'm going to Seize the Spoil on a swamp. Nice second spell. So his second spell was the Cold Spell Cleric, which if it's the second spell, it gives a +1/+1 counter to target creature. So he got a creature from Clarion Spirit, and then he got a +1/+1 on his Lifelinker guy. I can do this to create a 5/1 with trample. That's 5 here. That's actually that's the play that we got to go for. Uh-oh. Alright, he foretold a card. So his deck is built around casting 2 spells a turn. Clarion Spirit and Blood Sky Berserker. Actually, no blocks. I'm just getting lands. I went with 16 lands, didn't I? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. Six. Yeah, this is. I shouldn't have kept that card. I mean that opening hand. That was just terrible gameplay. So look at you and now look at me. Look at you and now look at me. Uh, all right. All right. First loss. Are we ever going to get a win tonight? I don't know how this happens, but I always break my nails. I think I should just go ahead and just see. Bada bing, bada boom, boom, boom. Just go ahead. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and start up my Discord and my Among Us because I haven't been having the best of luck. So I got 3 lands. That's a 4 drop. That's a 3 drop. That's a 3/5 drop. We'll keep this. I'm gonna get rid of that card. The lifelinker is the issue. Okay. He did exactly what I wanted him to do. He used his Death Toucher to get I didn't grab a land. I really wish I had grabbed the land. This flyer's getting on my nerves. There's the land. I'm going to foretell this card here. I'm not going to swing. If I get another land. Oh, great. If I get another land, then open the Omen Pass to this guy here. Oh, I'm sitting here jamming, not realizing it was my response. Hakuna Matata yo. Hakuna Matata. And he gave it double strike. Flying double strike. Okay. I lose again. Like, just my luck. Like, I'm stuck in silver. Thank goodness I can't go back down to bronze until the season starts over. But I'm stuck in silver, tier 4, because I can't win anything. All right. So, seeing how my luck is going right now, I'm gonna just go ahead and start searching for a lobby for Among Us. Just switch straight on to Among Us. Opponent's going first. Did I just not pay attention and screwed up here? I not paid attention and screwed up here. Wow. Completely. Oh, I completely did not. Because I thought it was at the end of his turn that I had to respond. I was trying to figure out why it was trying to let me respond. So, yeah, I'm just. You know what? I can't believe I freaking screwed that up. Like, like, wow. Like, I really screwed that up. Swing in for one. Yep. Choose up to one target creature or planeswalker, each creature with power 4 or greater you control. Oh, he messed up there. But I don't have a freaking. I don't have that one mana that I need. No duh, dude. One land can make all the difference. Well, for me, not for him, because he's gotten a land per turn for each turn. Plus, he has this to cast any instance or sorcery spell in his hand. I know I. Come on, Discord, just pull up. That gets a land into your hand. Alright. Do you have a counter spell? Yeah. There's that land. Alright, so right now he's going to be top decking. Yes, six lands plus this for instants and sorceries. He gets the one card in his hand from strategic planning. And he has his flyer. What is up with me not getting? I just get nothing but lands one game and then the other game, so. Right. So the card I need to get rid of. He can make this stronger. I need a way to. We're gonna get rid of this card here. No attacks. In turn. I can squash with the lands that I have now. I can squash this card here. Raise the Jogger. Wait, Raise the Jogger is an instant spell. I did not know that was an instant spell. Issue. He's a berserker. That's a berserker. That's a berserker. Oh, okay. A lot of berserkers. Block here. Block here. Okay. I'm get two berserkers back. This guy, this guy. Okay. Oh look, I got an extra land. Alright. Got to squash this guy. Somebody's very impatient. No text. Of course I'm gonna block that. Okay, so foretell here. I'm gonna foretell this. No text. So either he can get rid of this guy or he can pump that up. I don't think he can do both with one card. What's that do? Search for a card in his search for his card in his library that has the same name as the card in his graveyard. Instance of sorcery. So running shore won't help him now. Strategic planning. Okay, so he can do a strategic planning. So I can either block here. Let's block here. I mean, I did put up a good fight. Wow. I can do this here. Do this here to get rid of that. Take 5 from there. That's 5, so I still have 1 left over. But this is 5. And this is 5. Like, okay. I already got rid of the burn spell. I don't think I have anything to get me out of this situation here. past the blockers. I'm just out of it. And land. Great. That's not what I needed. It's a 4-4. That's a 4-4. Counterspell. Okay, right now that's the only thing that shut me completely down. Yep, counterspell. Oh. Even if I didn't misplay at the beginning, I couldn't do anything. I wasn't able to do anything. So, my description of the video, my description of the live stream, my mediocre playing. That was my mediocre plan. That was terrible. Like, that was extremely terrible. Just straight losses. Like, straight loss. We are dreamers. So is the dream. So bear with me for one moment. Okay. Alright, so what's going to happen is I will take you guys on a magical tour. Please disregard anything you see in my room. Okay? So, this is my room. I'm purposely not showing you guys other places of the room because it's very junky. There's a roommate's dog. Say hi. Hi, Summer. She's a good dog. She's a good guard dog. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Need to go outside? No? Alright, stepping outside. So, basically to keep in tune with and as soon as I say I'm gonna step outside, of course, there's an airplane going across. Looks like it was raining over the night. Not that I was paying any attention to it, because Cortana? Like, really? I wasn't paying any attention throughout the night. So I have one reward to spark, and then I have 24 call-downs. Let's open 24 call-downs. Let's open 10 at a time. I like this guy here. Dragonkin Berserker. Both abilities you activate cost 1 less for each dragon you control, and then you can boast him for 5 basically to create a 5/5 dragon. Um, oh, we got a planeswalker, Nico Eris. When he enters the battlefield, he or she, they, create X shard tokens. +1 them, her, them. Up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Whenever that creature deals damage this turn, return it to its owner's hand. Oh. Nico Eris deals 2 damage to target tap creature for each card you've drawn this turn, and create a shard token. And the shard tokens is pay 2, sacrifice this enchantment, scry 1 to draw a card. Okay. Then we have Olvar, the Old Form. Haven't seen this card yet. Yeah, this is the first one I've had. Changeling. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, it targets 1 or more other permanents you control. If it targets 1 or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. When a spell ability an opponent controls causes you to discard this card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. That's a really good card. Calamity Bearer. If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent or a player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. Then we got Bloodsky Massacre. Create a 2/3 Demon Berserker token with Menace. Whenever Berserker attacks this turn, you draw a card, lose 1 life. Add red mana for each Berserker you control until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Okay. So there's some pretty good cards there. Cosima, God of the Voyage. This card is always, when I first saw this card, I was a little iffy about it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile Cosima. If you do, it gains whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control. If Cosima is exiled, you may put a Voyage counter on it. If you don't, return Cosima to the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, and draw X cards where X is the number of Voyage counters on it. And then the vehicle flip side is whenever a vehicle you control does combat damage to a player, that player exiles that many cards from the top of their library. You may play lands from among those cards for as long as they remain exiled. And his crew is 1. I love me some 1-cost crew. Open the next pack. What do we have here? God of Storytelling. Okay. Mythic Wildcard. Got another Berserker. Herald unites the elves. Mill 3 cards. Put an elf or Tyvar card from your graveyard into the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on each elf you control. Whenever an elf you control attacks this turn, target creature and opponent controls get -1/-1 till end of turn. Ugin's Conjurant. Enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. If damage will be dealt to Ugin's Conjurant while it has +1/+1 counters on it, prevent that damage and remove that many +1/+1 counters from Ugin's Conjurant. Okay. What is this here? Vault progress 108%. Vault rewards. Okay. So, what we're going to do here now with you guys, I'm out here smoking a cigarette. These are all the decks that I have built in the past. This sign here means that these aren't those cards. That number 18 is how many cards are not standard. These cards are in standard, so it doesn't have that triangle right here. But we're just going to build a standard deck off the rip. Alright, so the format we're going to choose is standard. I like the Dragonkin Berserker. This here, for those of you who are not who are new to Arena, this here lets you know how many of that particular card you have, and these are not highlighted, so that means we don't have that many. And you can have up to, when you're doing standard, you can have up to 4 of a card unless it states otherwise. Like I think it's not Relentless Rats. There's a certain rat creature card that says you can have as many rats cards as you want. So that overrules the standard rule of 4. And so whenever you hear someone talk about playset, a playset means for standard, or for basically for constructed. A playset for standard constructed is 4 of a card. So we're going to go with 2 of these guys. Alright, I have 17, so I can use 1 to craft. And that's what the wild cards are usually for. It's basically to craft extra cards. So we're gonna have 3. I'm gonna go with 2 of those guys. We have 4. Because this is not a basic land, you can only have a playset. Basic lands, you can have as many of the same lands as possible, as long as it's basic. The snow lands are not basic lands, so you can't have more than 4. Looks like we're going to be doing Berserker. So let's go with, got 2 of those. Let's go with 3. We'll craft all. We'll do a playset of this guy here. So what we want to do here is look for Berserkers. And because we have it set to standard, it'll pull up all the standard Berserkers that we have. All the standard red Berserkers that we have. We'll grab him just in case we have more giants. Reckless crew. We'll go to the dwarf reinforcements. Don't really believe I'm going to go the route of vehicles and equipment, so Zombie Berserker. I have two of these. Angel Berserker. Flying lifelink hexproof from planeswalkers. So basically what I want to do now is just basically grab cards that would suit the deck. And then from there we'll move on and oops, I still have Berserker set. Alright, so we'll take this out. The scry ability I do like. Cortana keeps coming up because my trackpad is so terrible. So 24 minutes. Sacrifice a creature. When you do, deals 3 damage to target creature or to any target. I don't know why I read that as a target creature. Each player discards a card, return to a creature card from your graveyard to battlefield. Alright, we're gonna grab that. Come on, stop popping up, Cortana. This is a dragon, and because this here makes the boast ability 1 less. I do have doors. That has a boast ability. That has a boast ability. I'm gonna grab the 2 that I have with that card. Now, I really just grabbed cards that I thought would be good. Three of those. Alright. It's a little chilly out here. Mutual Destruction is still in standard. Two of those. Raised Dead is standard. Omen of the Dead is standard. If Omen of the Dead is standard, that has flash. We can do Mutual Destruction. Alright, I already have. Village Rites. Grab some Village Rites. Eliminate. Call of the Death Dweller. some. Check out our burn spells. Frostbite. Not really heavy in snow. I mean, it does 2 damage, or it can end up doing 3, but I mean, it's another. It's basically like having a shock. That could end up being like a better shock, possibly. Fire Prophecy. Excuse me. I do like Fire Prophecy, especially since that's still in standard. Omen in the Forge. Scorching Dragonfire. So we're just talking about cards. Seven Dwarves is one of those cards. I couldn't think of the rat card, but Seven Dwarves is another one of the cards that it says as a second part says a deck can have up to 7 cards named seven dwarves. So it overrules the playset rule in standard. It does limit it to 7, but it does. Crushing Giant. This card is actually pretty good since I do have some of those cards. Dreambolt. Or Demon Bolt. I said Dream Bolt. Alright, so I'm going to close that. Now we want to cut back to cards that we want and cards that's going to be in our sideboard. And usually, honestly, I would spend more time making the deck. But I just want to give y'all like a rough draft of like how I would go about making a deck. So the Mutual Destructions. Because it's a it is a removal. Omen of the Dead. Village Rites. With Village Rites, it allows me to draw cards Um, but you have to sacrifice. But it is an instant spell. So let's keep one in for now. Alright, Dragon's Helm. His equip cost is too high. So we're going to put one into the sideboard. And as you can see here, the sideboard has a limited number. You have to have 15 cards in the sideboard. When you're creating a sideboard, it has to be either 15 cards or 0 cards. You can't have just 10 cards in the sideboard. Your sideboard has to equal 15 cards. Just like your standard deck has to be 60 cards. At least 60 cards. You can have more, but the minimum is 60 cards, and usually people stick with the minimum unless their deck is built around having more cards in their deck. But the sideboard is just plain and simple, just 15 cards, period. This is for planeswalkers, so like oh come on. Stop messing with me, Cortana. We'll get one of. And it doesn't even hit all planeswalkers. It hits planeswalker CMC 3 or less. So one of is fine. I do like Fire Prophecy because it allows you to put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library, and then you get to draw a card. So it deals 3 damage and you get to draw, potentially. This card here, Magda. Let's got another one. Omen of the Forge. Just like Omen of the Dead, the second ability to sacrifice it, pay 3 to sacrifice it to scry 2 is good. I'll put one in the sideboard, take one out. Check out one Omen of the Dead. Dragonfire. Now Dragonfire can target a creature or a planeswalker. So I do like Dragonfire as a burning spell. More than I like Fire Prophecy. I go with 2 Fire Prophecies. Put one, call it the Death Dweller to the sideboard. I like that card. Like, potentially having a 5/5, even though he's not a berserker, he's a warrior, having a 5/5 turn 3 is really good and really strong. We're going back inside now because Um, you usually don't get that strong of a creature till 4 or 5. So having it that early and discarding a card, we can potentially discard like a creature card that we can easily get back with one of our cards that pulls cards from the graveyard. So I am okay. I'm okay with having two of these guys in. Murder, destroy target creature. It's an instant spell. We have Poison the Cub, instant spell. The four tile cost is 2. Um, this here can end up making his boast cost 0, and that's just wonderful. Um, this card is basically would deal with like mana ramping in a sort. Um, I definitely won't use his artifact side. Um, and because this says that creatures you control can boast twice during each of your turns rather than once, boasting twice for this creates double dragons, which makes his first ability even stronger. And then boasting twice for here. Um, his ability to change his base power to 1 plus the greatest power amongst other creatures you control. So making his basically you can power him up twice or double up his power. And the scenario there is even if you have no other creatures, you pay 1 to make, if he's the only creature that you have, he's a 3/3. Pay 1 to make him a 4/3 because it's 1 plus the greatest power. The greatest power is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. Easy math, right? Well, if you can do it twice, then, well, you won't double his power, but you make him even stronger by, okay, his base power is now 4. Do it one more time. 4 plus 1 is 5, so ends up becoming a 5. Or, say, this guy, he's a 5/4. You use his boast ability, he become a 6/3. And then you do boast again, he end up being a 7/3. So, um, like this card, this card works well with this card and here. Um, and his static ability of both abilities you activate costs 1 less for each dragon you control. It stacks. So if I have more than one Dragonkin Berserker on the field, and say I only have one dragon on the field, but I have 2 of these guys here, because one makes it 1 cheaper, the other one makes it 1 cheaper, that's 2 cheaper for the boast ability. Plain and simple. And having multiples of him You do multiples of a card, or you make play sets of a card in a deck because it makes it easier for you to pull that specific card. So it raises the probability of you drawing that card. Also, if that card is a really good card, like this card here, and it has static abilities that stack on the field, then especially if it's not a legendary creature, so you can have more than one, because the legendary rule is if it has the same name and it is a legendary creature, you can only have one of on the field at a time. But if it's a regular creature and it's not legendary, you can have as many on the field as possible. So if you have a cloning card where you can make copies of a token, you can have as many as you can make, basically. Um, so these three cards here all work in sync with each other. So I just like his ability. That's why I have three of him. Um, these two I just want two of, just to heighten the probability of me drawing the cards. Plus, I have ways of getting cards back out of the graveyard. So, um, moving on. Um, Dwarven Hammer. I'm gonna move the Dwarven Hammers over to the sideboard. Ferocity of the Wilds. I'm gonna move that over to the sideboard just in case we're not set on having this sideboard here. Um, it's a really good enchantment for limited, and that's the thing you want to get around of. Like my limited ratio of wins and losses are just up and down. I don't really have a good average out. I win more than I lose, but it's very very close. So it's really close to 50-50. It's probably like 60-40 of wins to losses. um, but I brought that up for the simple fact that when you're switching from limited, and limited is just basically sealed and drafting, where you're not making a deck out of cards you already own, you're making a deck on the fly. um, your mindset has to change, because basically making decks on the fly, you have to basically consider what usually have a time frame. And that's not to say that you don't have a time frame for any format that you play, but you have to have basically a time frame when you're drafting or you're playing sealed, as whereas you can get the game over with quick, or you're in it for you want to hold off until you can build a board state. With standard, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit trickier. Of you have to figure out a balance between your early game and your late game, because you can build a deck around early game. However, because it's a 60 card deck, you want to be careful of, okay, you built your deck around early game and it doesn't work early game, you're still playing after turn 6, 7, 8. Your deck was built to win around turn 3, 4, 5. So now you're basically twiddling your thumbs. With standard, you want to have outs. You want to have multiple themes going on in your deck, whereas you're not just set on one win condition. You have to have multiple win conditions, because it's you have more cards and your opponents have just as many cards, if not more cards, as you. So they have multiple themes set up for them to win. So you have to be careful with your mindset from drafting and playing sealed versus standard and constructed. So, you know, I'm trying to, while I'm doing this is why I'm also doing this on the fly as well, is to get my mind off of, I've just been playing nothing but drafts and like a sealed every now and again on Moto, but you, I'm trying to get my mindset out of just a drafting player. I want to try to, okay, get back into Magic like the way I was, where I had great commander decks and had multiple commander decks, multiple or EDH for those of you who know Magic, um, multiple EDH decks, multiple Plane Chase decks, multiple standard decks, multiple historic decks, multiple pauper decks, multiple modern decks. Um, and so you have to kind of sort of, you can keep the same theme, but you have to have a different mindset to when you're building these decks. So, and it just broadens your horizon for better Magic playing in the long run. And now I'm sitting here lecturing you guys on how to play Magic when I'm just not a decent player. I'm giving you this advice as someone who's been around Magic since 2004. It is now 2021. So basically 17 years. That's basically half my life that I spent playing Magic. Okay? So yeah, just giving you like tips on my end, okay? 2004? Yeah. It was 2004. It's my senior year in high school that I was introduced to Magic during PE, no doubt. I had PE as a senior because, as you can see, I'm a hefty kind of guy. I've always been a hefty kind of guy, and I pushed back PE until my senior year. And so, like, I mean, it was PE. Unless you choose not to participate, it's really hard for you not to pass PE. But during free times, there was this freshman who was actually into Magic and taught me about Magic, and you know, I actually started to like it. My very first deck was Red Goblins. Yeah, Red Goblins. And then I moved on to, you know, Blue Control. Blue Control Mill. Like, milling was strong back then. And milling is a term that basically just means when you make an opponent mill or you mill yourself, that means however many cards you mill, you put that many cards from the top of your library into the graveyard. And the rules for Magic is that in any format that you play, that when you go to your turn, I haven't even explained turns or anything like that, but when you go to your turn, it's always upkeep, untap. So you untap everything that can be untapped. There are certain cards that says you don't untap during your untap step, but untap, draw. If you have no cards in your deck to draw a card, you automatically lose the game because there's no draw step for you, and the draw step is um, needed. Now there are certain cards that say um, enchantments or artifacts that say when you can no longer draw any cards from your library, you win the game, or you cannot lose the game. Or I don't know if it says you cannot lose the game if you cannot draw. I know there's one that says if you cannot draw any more cards, you win the game. There's also a card that says I think it's Platinum Angel is the card. You can its static ability says you cannot lose the game. So you have to get rid of Static Angel, Platinum Angel. Your opponent will have to get rid of Platinum Angel on your field. Um, I believe Platinum Angel is the one I'm thinking of. That's why there's also cards like ooh, I've been out of the Magic game for so long. I know there's the Elixir something. Elixir of Immortality, I think it is artifact that you pay to tap it, sacrifice it, you shuffle your graveyard back into your library. That's one way to like re up on your library so you don't draw out. But I'm just going off here. But mill making someone mill control mill was very strong back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I mean back in the day. Control mill was very strong back in the day because your control aspect was okay, counter your spells so you can't cast anything, and then you make them mill so that they have no library to draw from. And so blue control mill was very strong, and Jace as a planeswalker made it stronger. Like I loved that deck. I loved that playstyle back in the day. Let's get back into this though. So we stopped here at the Demon Bolt. Um, deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Um, and you can foretell it. We're going to we're gonna we'll keep it for now. I still have 15 cards to go to get rid of at least in the main deck, and then 5 more cards to add to the sideboard. Um, one thing I do like about Arena is while you're making changes, it makes changes to your um, mana base, your mana sources, and it's pretty much even here. Um, what some what some people like to do, especially if they play in um, IRL in real life, for those of you layman terms, um, what they like to do is count the mana cost symbols and then ratio out how many lands of that particular type they need. So like this one has 2 red symbols. That's one. There's 2 cards, so that's another 2, so that's 4. We got 4 of these cards, so that's 8. Plus another 2, it's 10. Plus 2 more is 12. I can't count. I'm getting really tired. Plus 2 more, 14. Plus 3 is 17. Plus 2 is 19. Plus 2 is 21. 2 is 23. 2, 25, 27, 32. So 32 red sources, or 32 red symbols. And then your black symbols, you have 2, 6, 8, 12, 15, 21, 25, 29, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So you have more black sources than red sources. So 39 to, I think it was 32 red sources or red symbols. So 39 to 32. And so you basically want more black sources than red sources. And here that's what they did. Like this is just strictly black sources. So I have 11 black sources, just straight up black sources. I have 7 straight up black sources. So 7 and 11 is fine. And these are double side, well, not double side. These are dual lands, so they can tap for either one. So we just want to go at the bases. 7 to 11, that's pretty decent. Um, yeah, that's fine. Here, I'm gonna grab another Quake Bringer. I'm trying to subtract cards and I'm keep adding. I want the Quake Bringer. This card, he becomes stronger each time he taps, because it says whenever he becomes tapped, exile up to one target card. So that part right there, up to one. You don't have to exile a target card for him to get stronger. It says up to one, so you can target because from 0 and 1, you can choose 0, and then it says and. It doesn't say when you exile one target card from a graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on him. If it's stated it like that, then yes, you would have to exile one to make him stronger. But it says you can exile up to one, and he becomes stronger. So it's a two-sided. When playing Magic, you have to read the text because the wording of the text makes a whole lot of difference in play style and playing. Um, ooh, we have a Calamity Bearer here. Um, that's one giant. That's two giants. Right now, I only have technically two giants here. So let's go in. Let's grab another Calamity Bearer. But let's put him into the sideboard. I'm going to put the Quake Bringer in the sideboard as well. Because making your opponents not gain life, being able to gain life, is strong. But his second ability, if he's not on the field, he has to be in your graveyard and you control a giant. But seeing how that Quickbringer and Calamity Bearer right now are my only two giants, um, is they're not really like they work off having giants in your in your deck. Um, right now, I'm full with my sideboard. So unless a card can beat out a position in one of these cards here, is most likely just going to be taken out altogether. This card is flying, and then it has hexproof from Planeswalkers. So Planeswalkers' ability that says like gain control of target creature or tap target creature or bounce the creature from the board to the opponent's hands. He has hexproof from. And he's a 4/3 flying lifelink. Like his most ability, it's all right. Taking out Omen in the Forge. Scorching Dragonfire. Put that there. We got the Murders. We got the Poison Cups. Alright, so seven, 14, 17, 21, 23. 23 is actually fine because ICNC is 4. What still want to do? I want to pass out. Let me take this time now to say hello to chat. So let's say hello to chat. Um, Chat. Did I leave my phone outside? I think I left my phone outside. Okay. Let me go get my phone in a bit. But See everybody in chat right now. So we have Abbott Costello. How you doing? We have A10, Bing Cortana, Casino Thanks, Extra More, Go With Him, Ice Wizards, Taxing, Tax Ying, and Violet's TV. Hey guys, welcome to my live stream. Have I bored you guys to death yet? Hopefully not. We'll get to some tragically sad misplays in just a moment. I'm joking. I won't be savagely bad. Um Omen of the Dead I don't like. I don't like Village Rights. I got rid of Village Rights. I Is it Seize the Spoils? Let's go for spoils. Let's see. Okay. Just completely ignored that I'm trying to type here. Seize the spoils. Alright. Alright, mutual destruction. It's not as good if I don't have the omens in. Drugger's Helm. We'll keep that. Eliminate. Let's take eliminate out. Scorching Dragonfire. What's the backup burn spell? Call it the Dweller. Death Dweller. Dwarven Hammer. Ferocity of the Wilds. We'll go ahead and take that out. Columbia Bearer. Alright, so let's see here. 3 more cards to get rid of. getting a little tired here. Alright, so we're going to right, done. Yes. Wrong button. That's how you know I'm tired. Alright, so I'm going to make some coffee and get my phone. I'm going to pause it right here. Okay, guys?